Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Chetan Mehta here, and I can see Adi, Ankita, Asha, Emmanuel, and Seema on the call. Please let me know if you can hear me and see my screen. You can just give me a high five there on the go to training. Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Asha. Thanks, Ankita. And if you are unable to talk, in case if you are muted, please type in the chat window. Sometimes it gets muted by itself. So I may just have to send you a like a pin to unmute yourself. Okay, so I'm assuming that everybody can hear me and see my screen. So let's get started. First of all, thanks for joining this demo session. And today we are going to talk on the new course we are trying to start next week, which is on Certified Business Analysis program, Agile Business Analysis. So tonight's session will talk about what is a course outline, the tools we use, and the process we have in place. And of course, we'll start with some introductions, and then we'll go into the topics. And if you have any questions, concerns, you can either ask me in between, or you can wait till we finish this session. And this is a demo session. We're not going to start the training like as of today, but it's just trying to understand, trying to gauge where exactly you guys are, and at the same time giving you guys an opportunity to see if that's what you are interested in doing in your career. And I know I talked to you, some of you guys in the past recent few weeks, and you all have my number. In case if you have any questions after this demo, if you want to call me, please do so. Okay. So before we get started, I would like to introduce myself, and then I would like you guys to introduce yourself with in terms of your education, your work experience, and what you're trying to achieve from the training. Okay, so I'll get started. So my name is Chetan Mehta, and I am the lead instructor for Skill Incubator. We specialize in training, coaching, mentoring, uh, you know, freshers, working professionals, homemakers in different areas, especially into IT courses, uh, business analysis, quality assurance, Agile, Scrum Master, and many more. But this course is all about Agile business analysis. Little bit about myself. I have a bachelor's in economics marketing and an MBA in marketing and international finance as well. I do have some background in IT in terms of programming, but believe me, I've never used it on my job. So a lot of people might have that concern that, hey, I don't have IT background, I don't have computer science background. Uh, can I become a business analyst, or should I even think about it? And the answer is absolutely yes, because you really don't need any like programming experience or knowledge to get into this field. So that's the beauty of this role. I do have some certifications with me, which I also train people in these areas like CBAP, PMP, BPM. I'm a certified business analysis professional from IIBA, PMP from PMI, certified Scrum Master, BPM, which is Business Process Management certified practitioner. And from my work experience, I started my career in academics. I was working as a research associate at one of the top institutes back in India, which is IIM Ahmedabad. And many of you guys are from India, so probably you know that institute. And then I joined the corporate sector back in India, worked in oil and gas, logistics area in different divisions or different functional areas: marketing, business development, logistics. And in 2000, I started working into IT. I came to US in 2003, did my MBA, and since 2000, early 2005, I've been working as a business analyst, project manager, scrum master, different roles depending on the job requirements. But yes, my core passion is in the field of business analysis. I like to train, coach, mentor people as well. And currently, I'm working as a full-time business analyst, scrum master, and project manager based out of Washington, D.C. area. And yes, this is something which I like to do: train, coach, mentor people in different topics, different subjects. And my goal here is to get you your job. First of all, build the right skills, expertise in you, which can help you not only find a job, but also sustain that job and build your career in the long run. So we are not looking for any shortcuts like, just train you for 2-3 weeks and get you in the market and then realize, hey, I don't know what this means, or, you don't have the right skills, right? You don't want to be in that situation. So the goal is to build those skills, build the foundations, and then also make sure that you can sustain on the job once you start working. Okay, having said that, I would like you guys to introduce yourself. Just, it's mainly from the education and work experience point of view. That's what I'm looking for, right? And if you have any concerns, for example, you don't have any IT background, right? And if you want to pursue this field, get into this field, if you have any questions in that regards, please feel free to ask me. Okay, so we can start with Adi. You want to start?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Adedamola Osho. I have a bachelor's in English. I work with an English proficiency test company. I have no prior background or knowledge of IT, none of it. I'm new to this field. I have been trying to hop on the business analysis training for a while. I've been going up and on, but now I'm ready because I know there's a demand, and I'm more interested in learning it and also learning software, because I'm aware that employers usually ask about hands-on, like software. They want to know about, not just because they're aware that a lot of people are taking this training, and they want to know that you know about software and you're able to work with little or no supervision. So that's my goal, to be able to work with. I know it's a process, like it's a learning process, but I wouldn't want to get a job and then have to rely so much on somebody else. I would just like to get into it and hit the ground running for business analysis and for Scrum Master, both of them, start with both of them, and then just walk my way through.
Sure. Thank you, Adi. Ankita? Ankita, hello?
Hello, Emmanuel here.
Hey, yeah, Emmanuel, you can go ahead. We'll get back to Ankita in a while.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel of IC. My background is in economics. I have a BS in economics, and I left school over 30 years ago. Presently, I run a private company into renewable energy. But I'm looking to transition into business analysis, and then later into data analysis. I don't have any knowledge of IT. I'm not very good at IT, but I'm determined to give it my best shot, and that's about it. But I'm very determined to learn everything that there is to learn about business analysis and then Agile.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Chetan. Can you hear me now? This is Ankita.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I just unmuted the phone. I didn't realize I have to unmute on the screen as well.
Okay,
So,
no issues.
hi everybody. My name is Ankita, and by education I have an MBA in marketing. And currently, for last 3 months I have joined Bank of America, but I'm looking to move into business analysis role. And I don't have any IT background. And yes, that's about it.
Okay, good. Thank you. Hi,
Welcome.
Seema.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Chetan. This is Seema here. Good to know about everyone. It's really nice to know everyone's from a diverse background. I myself have an education background from accounting. I did my bachelor's in accounting and also have a degree in business administration. I'm an MBA in HR. Currently, I'm working in a bank. I'm working for Huntington National Bank as a banker and assistant manager. It's mostly the retail side. And being in the banking sector, I see how important the technology is. So I would take my career a level up because everything is turning down into technology. And so just I want to incorporate my education background and get my hands on into IT because I know there is a lot of requirement in it and you can develop yourself technology wise. Also, you can be, advance your career that wise. So I have no IT background, so I am sure that um, as working in a banking sector, I realized how important it is to be a business analyst because always the requirements changes and software changes. So I had really that part interest, like how it works, and so I really want to get into that. And yeah, so that's all about me.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Seema.
Welcome.
Okay, so yeah, I think we have a good diverse group of people. Um, Everybody has different experience, different education background, but good thing is it really doesn't matter. It all boils down to, are you willing to learn? That's first thing. And the second thing is, whatever we train, right, whatever we are going to cover, are you able to uh, do what we say, right? So for example, if we are giving you some assignments, you should be doing it as we make some progress, as we complete those, so that you're not only listening to what we are teaching, but also applying those using the tools that's going to be ultimately used on a live project. Like I'll give a recent example. I was working with one of the guy in UK. He's in UK, and he just yesterday he confirmed that he got a job as Scrum Master, and they are using the tools exactly what we used in the training, right? So that is what we are trying to do. We are making sure that it's aligned to the industry needs, but at the same time we are not taking any shortcuts. I want to make a good foundation before we go to the level where we will start using those tools and applications. Okay, so having said that, I'm sure everybody did some research before coming and joining this session in terms of what exactly is a business analysis. I'll come to the agile part later, but let's just focus on the core or fundamental question why we all are here. What do we mean by business analysis, and who is a business analyst? And it's an open forum, so please feel free to present your ideas. There's no right or wrong answer here, just what you think, what you feel in your own opinion. Please share.
Hi, this is Ankita.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so what I've learned that business analysis is collecting data and collecting data, analyzing and deriving results out of it. making reports. That's to summarize.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
also to like communicate between different departments.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. What about Ade? What do you think? Do you want to add anything? Emmanuel?
Yeah, I'm here. For me, business analysis is it's employing a set of tools to gather data, mine the data, in order to arrive at actionable insight. I think I'm right. I hope I'm right. That's making use of a set of tools to analyze, to gather data and analyze the data for the purpose of arriving at actionable insight to make informed decisions for stakeholders.
Okay. So, yes, you are right to a great extent, Emmanuel.
Sorry, Shitan,
Oh, no issues, Ade. So, just before we go to
yeah, sorry.
Ade.
So I don't have a big, pardon?
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll come back to Emmanuel in a minute.
Oh, sorry, I'm listening. Sorry, I'm listening.
Okay. So, no, I was just trying to complete what Emmanuel said. Yes, that is true. Now, the entire business analysis has got different aspects of different perspectives, what we say. So, one of them is like business process management, information technology. Data is also part of the business analysis overarching domain. So what you're saying is more geared towards the data analysis side. Of course, it is within the business analysis domain, but it's a like more specialized analyst role who only deals with data.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I get it.
so yeah, Adi.
Yeah, I would say it's business analysis is more like gathering information, using tools to gather information from the stakeholders, and just like putting together all of this information you have gotten, trying to understand the requirements of the business and ensuring you communicate this information to the technical team. Most important thing is that you're delivering value. You ensure that whatever change or whatever you're trying to implement is usually implementing change or maybe a business process. You just have to ensure that it does deliver value to the stakeholders. That's my little.
Okay, thank you. And Seema, what about you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, Seema, I can hear you. Hello, Seema. Okay, I don't think I can hear Seema. What about the rest of the folks? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think there's an issue on our side, but we'll wait. Till then, we can move on. So I think what you guys said is true to some extent. Of course, once we start the training, you will understand that it's much more than what you just now defined. Now, at a very high level, hey, hi Seema.
Sorry, Chetan, I think my voice is going really late for you all.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was not able to hear you. That's why I thought maybe you got
Okay.
just okay, but
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
Okay, so as a business analyst, I believe is you have to gather requirements, especially when there is a business need. Supposing they are making any changes in a software application from the stakeholder side to make their customers use the application in a very user-friendly way. They would like to change certain things in the application. So business analysts uh, uh, sit down with the stakeholders and the business owners and customers. They gather, basically she or he gathers the requirement and documents them and provides them to the development team for a system where they are currently now and what they want the changes to be. So it's basically gathering requirements and analyzing, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where we are going to focus more.
Okay.
And I will expand on that. Hey, Asha, welcome back. Okay, so as you know, everybody was true, everybody was right to a great extent, but let me expand on that. Okay, so when we talk about business analysis, you might have heard about like a very old definition or saying that a business analyst is a bridge between a business and IT, or business analysis is in between the business and the IT, right? How many of you have heard this definition or this statement?
I have.
Exactly, right? So it's a very common uh, saying or definition of a business analyst. Yes, that was true to a great extent 10, 12 years back. But in today's environment, our business analysis field has evolved a lot in the last decade or so. And as of today, our business analysis is not only a bridge between business and IT, but also is somebody who has to go beyond that. As I said, he or she has to also get into business process management, a business process engineering, a business architecture, a strategy, data analysis. And then we have a new thing, which is Agile, and I'll talk more about Agile, that as a business analyst, you have to play more than what a business analyst used to do in the past. So Agile is a different perspective within the business analysis. Now, coming back to this slide, what I'm sharing, this is a very classic model of a business analysis where we start with understanding the high level needs and requirements of the stakeholders at a very high level. We call it like 50,000 feet level. So take an example that, a management of an organization, they want to fix an issue. They have a problem, they want to fix it. The issue can be that their orders are getting processed. It's taking 2 to 3 weeks to process an order. They want to reduce the cycle time. How do you do that, right? So for that level of requirement, it's a very high level requirement, but still it's a requirement. We call it a business need or a requirement, which is sitting right at the top of the pyramid. But now that's not enough for us to solve it, right? We know that this is a main problem we are trying to solve, but how do we do that? Then we have to talk to people to understand what exactly they need in order to meet that high level business need. Stakeholders are somebody who will be working in the organization, departments, divisions, people like managers, associates, workers, different types of people, right? Customers, all these are stakeholders who are getting impacted by this problem. So we need to talk to them and understand what they are doing currently, the current state, and then based on that, we have to identify the pain points, problems they are facing, and then based on that, define the to be state or target state or future state. Okay, that's a stakeholder's requirements. But in today's environment, everything what we are doing is done through a software. Now, how many of you are using some software on a day-to-day basis?
I guess I do. I do use quite a number of softwares on a daily basis.
Right? On an average, we use 10 to 15 software every day, knowingly, unknowingly. Like, for example, your banking software. You go to Amazon, that's also an application, right? That's a software.
Yeah.
Then you, even in your car, when you switch on your music console, that's also has a software, correct? Then
Yeah.
what else? Word, PowerPoint, Excel, your email application. All these are examples of a software which you interact with to do your day-to-day activities, correct?
Correct.
Now, similarly, these people also may need a software to solve the problem, right? Either they have a software or a system in place, or they and they want to enhance it, or they don't have a system in place, application in place, and they want to build a new one. Whatever the case is, we need to talk to these stakeholders and understand that the way they are doing in the current state, understand the problems, pain points, and define the to be state or future state, how they want to do it in the future state. And once we have those requirements nailed down, now we need to do one more thing before we can say that these requirements are detailed enough for a software developer to write the code. Because if we give requirements, the stakeholder requirements to the developers, they may not have enough details, because the objective is to solve the problem what the management is facing by implementing a solution. And the solution will most likely be some software that's going to be deployed and be used by the end users. So what we have to do is we have to take these stakeholder requirements and convert them to the most finite level of requirements. And there are different types of system level requirements, as we can see here: functional, non-functional, interface, business rules, transition requirements, graphical user interface requirements. All of these are different types of requirements which we need to elicit, that is gather. We have to analyze them, we have to document them, and communicate these requirements to the team. Now the team consists of your solution architect, your developers, your testers, and many more people. But the idea is to convey these requirements so that they can write the code, they can test the code, and build a software based on that. And there are different techniques we are going to use to elicit the requirements, to analyze the requirements, whether it's business process modeling, whether it's a use case modeling, or whether it's UML diagrams, different types of UML diagrams, system context diagrams. There are many techniques we can use. Depending on the context and the scenario, you will have to engage that technique in doing analysis and documentation. Right? The goal is to take the high-level business need, convert them into stakeholder requirements, and then convert them into detailed system level requirements or solution level requirements, which can be used by the implementation team to either design, write the code, and test it out. So that's why it's called a BA is a bridge between the business and IT. But apart from that, when we start the course, you will also understand a BA can also help the client in strategy, in process management, that is whether it's a process improvement or re-engineering, data analysis. Then also, of course, on the Agile, in the Agile side, we have to talk about the different types of Agile frameworks, how a BA can also work in the Agile environment, because there are certain techniques which might be a little bit different you have to use as compared to if you were to work in a very conventional waterfall model. Okay, so that's at a very high level. That's what the business analysis is all about. And once we start the training, we will get into more details. Any questions, concerns?
Not from my end. None from my end.
Okay, thank you. And let me go to the course outline. That's something which I wanted to talk. Okay, can you see this PDF which has got the table of contents?
Yes.
So I'll quickly go through the course outline. So we'll start with the fundamentals of business analysis. Uh, what is a business? What exactly is business analysis? Apart from a bridge between business and IT, uh, who is a business analyst? There are different types of a business analyst, whether you're working on a process side or an IT side. But this course has been designed taking both these into consideration. So that's why it's a business systems analyst training. That means either you're working more towards the business side or IT side, you should be able to handle it. Why we need a business analyst on a project, right? We'll take some case study to understand that. Then as a business analyst is mainly going to work in the projectized environment with the projects, right? As part of the projects, and you will be part of the project team. So it's important to know what exactly is a project, what is project management discipline, some of the key processes, phases of a project. We'll understand the iron triangle, which means how is scope, your cost and schedule, all three of these are tied together. And a business analyst is a critical uh, or a business analysis is that function which can impact this iron triangle in a negative way. So we have to be very careful that how we can define the scope of a project and product so that our cost and schedule is maintained throughout the project. We'll talk about the phases of a project, the different knowledge areas within each of these phases, the key processes. We'll also understand some of the key project management artifacts, like project management plan, project schedule, then project scope document. We'll also talk about the risk register and many more. And the next thing, as I said, we will understand what's the difference between the project scope and product scope. A lot of people think it's the same thing, but they both are very different aspects, and it's important for a BA to understand the project and the product scope. Finally, we'll also create some artifacts using a tool called Gantt, which will be a project plan. So a lot of times you will see a business analyst will be closely working with the project managers to help him or her to create these artifacts. So, and that's why I also include some of these topics, so you don't get into a shock mode when you start working and you are told to create some of these artifacts. Then we'll go and talk about the key management concepts, and all of these are very important, fundamental building blocks for a business analyst to understand how to do a good job to analyze the requirements, to elicit, analyze, and document the requirements. So we'll talk about the value chain, lean principles, Kanban, Pokayuki, then core competency, Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. And then we'll talk about the BPM, which is business process management. And BPM can further be broken down into two different aspects. One is business process reengineering and business process improvement. So these are more like conceptual topics. So we'll go into detail and understand what it is and how it's going to be applied in this field when you start working as a BA. Next, we'll talk about the stakeholder landscape. Who's a stakeholder? There are different types of stakeholders: active, passive, primary, secondary. And then we'll take a case study to understand the different types of stakeholders you can expect on a project. You can also identify the stakeholders using the organizational structures, whether it's a functional, projectized, matrix, all of these you can understand, and we will see different examples. And also create some of them using tools like Visio, Glyphy, Lucidchart. I generally don't use Visual Paradigm these days, but I will use either of these three tools. Either it will be MS Visio, Lucidchart, or Glyphy. We'll also create another important artifact as part of our project management domain, which is RACI matrix, and that is sometimes also used within the business analysis domain as well. So it's good to know what RACI matrix is and how to create. We will use Excel to create RACI matrix. The next thing is the different types of requirements, one of the most important topics for a BA. So what exactly is a requirement, right? A requirement is a very vague term. So of course, we all know requirement is something which is requested by customer or by somebody that needs to be part of the software, right? Somebody who's expecting that feature in the software. But that's a very high level statement. We will have to understand the different types of requirements, which we just now saw. Functional, non-functional, transition, all of those. So we'll understand right from the business needs, stakeholder requirements, functional, non-functional, interface, graphical user interface requirements, and then the business rules. I think one is missing here, which is transition requirements. So I'll add that. But yes, that's also part of a requirement. The next is SDLC, because as I said, you will be working closely with the IT team to help your customer solve the problem by building a system, solution, or application. So you must know everything about SDLC, which is software development lifecycle. We'll understand the different phases of SDLC, and then we'll talk about the role that a BA is going to play in each of these phases. Then next we'll talk about the different types of models, SDLC models, whether it's a predictive, iterative, incremental, or adaptive, which is Agile. Section 7 will talk about the different types of software engineering frameworks or SDLC frameworks. Starting with a waterfall, we'll go and talk about the spiral, which is rapid. Then the next one will be rapid application development, RAP, which is rational unified process, and Scrum. We'll put more emphasis on Scrum because that's what people ask for these days, and that's in demand. Since 2010, most of the projects, IT projects, have moved from different types of SDLC frameworks to Agile, and specifically within Agile, Scrum and Kanban. So we'll talk about Scrum and Kanban as well. And next, we'll talk about the key requirements processes, right from requirements elicitation, analysis, documentation, then solution assessment, and how do you manage a requirement. So all of these will be explained, and then we will go deep dive into each of these processes. So for example, requirements elicitation, we'll talk about the different elicitation techniques a BA can use on a project, ranging from brainstorming, focus group, workshops, interviews, and all of these, questionnaires, document analysis, prototyping. And we'll also understand the pros and cons of each one of these techniques, so you can know which technique to use in which situation. Once we understand the elicitation techniques, then we'll go on to the analysis techniques, which is the most important part of this training, because this is where you will be actually using and learning and using a lot of tools as part of your analysis. Of course, we talked about some of the tools which you'll be using even before this, but this is where I will be focusing heavily. We'll start with understanding what is SWOT analysis and use tools like Visio and other tools like Glyphy, Lucidchart, Draw.io to create a SWOT analysis. We'll do the root cause analysis, and there are two different techniques which you can use to do your RCA, which is 5 whys and fishbone. Then we'll talk about the BPM, which is one of my favorite topic and one of the most important analysis technique, where you will be learning how do you create a process model and capture the current state and future state. So have you guys done any of these, like created a model, a process flow as part of your course study or work at your work?
No way, no, none at all.
Okay.
But can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I have read about gap analysis, that to
Yeah.
be a business analyst, you must be versed in gap analysis. I don't see it here. Is it part of the training?
Right, and that, yes, it is, of course, that is part of the training, and this is what you're talking about. See, gap analysis is nothing but the difference between, or a gap between, where you want to be, your future state, and where you are, the current state.
Oh, I see.
Right?
I see.
So the delta is known as gap. You're trying to find out the gap where you currently are and where you want to be. So that's exactly,
Oh,
so yes, even though it's not called out in this section, but everything right from 10.5 to 10.10 is all about gap analysis.
oh, I see.
Right? So we will be
Okay.
understanding, yeah, we'll be understanding the different notations you will be using to create a process model. How do you understand, or how do you identify the pain points, problems, bottlenecks in a current state process flow? Then how do you map out the future state or the to be state flows? And that is what your gap analysis is all about, right? And apart from the standard notations, you will also be learning the BPMN, which is business process model and notation, which is an advanced level of process modeling. So these are syntax driven process modeling, which you can use uh, to create your process flows, right? So there are two different types of notations. One is a standard notation or a conventional notation, and then we have the BPMN, which is like an advanced level of modeling. So we'll learn both of these. And as I already said that we will be doing the root cause analysis using all of these tools, MS Visio, Lucidchart, Glyphy, and all the BPM related topics will be done using MS Visio. And I also added a couple of more tools in the last session, which will be draw.io. Of course, we can also use Lucidchart or Glyphy. Sometimes if people are using Mac, MS Visio is not compatible with Mac. So we may want to use Lucidchart or Glyphy tool. Then we'll go on to do the analysis at a system level. So what we did right now was analysis more at a process level, at a business level. But once we have done that, now we need to get to the system level to understand uh, how it's going to get implemented. All the requirements which we did at a process level, we need to now convert them into system level. So we need to do system level analysis, and there are different techniques again, depending on the type of analysis you are doing. So we'll learn about the system context diagram, what is SCD. We'll create some of the diagrams using all of these tools, Visio, Lucidchart, Glyphy. We'll talk about the object-oriented concepts, which is again the fundamental or the building blocks to understand the UML, which is the next topic, Unified Modeling Language. Now, UML is nothing but it's a technique to model your system level requirements using some syntax. It's a system, I mean, it's a syntax driven modeling language to capture your system level requirements. So you're not doing any coding here, but you're trying to use some notations or icons and create some, beautiful diagrams that's going to capture the essence of the requirements at a system level. And there are different types of diagrams here: use case, activity, state chart, sequence diagrams, class diagrams. All of these we will do some hands-on exercise using MS Visio again. The reason I like to use MS Visio is because it's a industry standard tool which is used uh, almost every single project. It's a universally accepted tool to create models. But if you don't have access to MS Visio, you can use, there are other tools like Lucidchart, Glyphy, draw.io, and there are million tools out there which you can use. But the idea is, if you can master one tool like MS Visio, you can use any tool, right? So it's like that. So you don't have to worry about specific tool, but you should be comfortable using any tool once you have done or once you have been exposed to one of the tools. And then we'll go into the documentation part. Once we are done with the analysis part, documentation will be like creating the BRDs, business requirements document, FRD, which is functional requirements document, use case specifications. Again, all of this will be created using MS Word, then data dictionary, your business rules document, all of these will be done using simple MS Office products. Then comes the Scrum, which is where we'll be focusing on. We'll talk about the software, Agile software development domain, or there are different types of Agile frameworks within the Agile umbrella. We'll talk about those. And specifically, we'll focus on two of those, which is Scrum and Kanban. So Scrum is a software engineering framework. Of course, it's an Agile, one of the Agile, popular Agile frameworks, which is currently being used by almost every single IT or software projects. You can also use it for other types of projects, but mainly it's popular within the IT software development projects. We'll talk about the Agile Manifesto, the 12 principles of Agile Manifesto, the different roles of Scrum within Scrum, and what's the role of a business analyst in Scrum framework, and all the ceremonies that's part of the Scrum. And we will focus a good amount of time in writing some artifacts which are typically used in the Scrum environment, features, epics, stories, and we'll also use a Gherkin syntax to write acceptance criteria. And the tools here we are going to use are Jira and Confluence. So these are the two tools we'll be using for not only Scrum, but also for Kanban. We'll learn how to estimate a user story, how to add more information to the user stories, then what's the team velocity, how to calculate the team velocity, how do you understand the burn down, burn up charts, and how they are different, how to initiate a sprint, how to execute and close a sprint once a sprint work is complete. All of that will be done using Jira tool. And some more here, splitting up one big epic into small stories. Yes, the next thing is important, the wireframes and mockups. So we'll be using a tool called Balsamiq or Mockflow to create wireframes, or like a low fidelity wireframes or mockups. Right? And that's also a very important technique for a business analyst to have. Next, we'll go into some more technical topics. We'll talk about SQL, which is SQL Structured Query Language. Now, I think one of you mentioned about the data, right? So how do you extract the data from the system and how do you analyze it? So first thing we have to do is understand the concept of database. What is a database? How it's laid out? What are the tables within a database? What is ER diagram, which is entity relationship diagram? How to create one, and then understand the database schema, how the tables are related with each other, their cardinality, modality, what type of data should be stored, the data types, right? You might have seen when you're filling out a form, there might be different types of data on a form. There can be a date picker, right? You just have to select the date. Some places you will have to enter a fixed value like SSN or phone number. You cannot just put anything, correct? In some places, sure, it will allow you to put free form text. You can say, okay, you can put your own sentence there and it's going to accept it. So these are the data types. We have to understand the different types of data the system is going to allow a user to store in that particular table, column. So we need to learn all of that. And then we will go to the SQL, where we will learn the syntax and how we can write the queries to extract the data from database. Right. So we'll use Oracle, or there's another tool which we can use to write the SQL statements. Next, we'll talk about the requirements management. As a BA, he or she has to not only elicit, analyze, document the requirements, but also manage them, right? When I say manage, we have to make sure that the requirements are stored in a proper place in a common repository. They are updated as and when things change, and also create some artifacts as part of requirements management. There are two key artifacts here. One is RMP, which is requirements management plan, which is created in the initial phase of the project. Right when we start the project, we have to create this RMP. And then as we start the project and as the requirements are added, removed, updated, we have to maintain an artifact called RTM, which is Requirements Traceability Matrix. So we'll have to learn what these two artifacts are and get a good hold on this topic as well. And we'll be creating RTM using either MS Excel, which is Microsoft Excel, or DOORS, which is Dynamic Object Oriented Requirement System. And then we will talk about the requirements estimation techniques. How do you estimate a requirement? And this is a very key aspect for a BA, because every single project, like a project manager will come back to you and say, hey, give me an estimate. How much time do you think it's going to take to do this requirement or to implement this feature? Now, based on your estimate, the entire team will do estimation. Your design, and that's architect, your developer, your tester, they will look upon you to give a good estimate so that they can estimate accordingly. So you will be the point of contact where you have to explain the requirement to them and be part of the entire estimation exercise. So that's very important. So we'll talk about the requirement estimation process and how do you estimate a requirement, not only requirement, but also from the design, development, testing, the entire end-to-end life cycle of a requirement has to be estimated. And then some more topics like configuration management. We'll use Tortoise SVN to understand the concept of configuration management, and then change control board. What is a change control board? What's the role of a business analyst in the CCB, which is change control board? Talk about the quality assurance. What is quality assurance or testing? The different types of testing models we have. Again, the role of a business analyst in this domain. And specifically when we talk about the UAT, which is user acceptance testing, we will have to focus more on the UAT than anything else, because a BA will be playing a very key role during the UAT. And then finally, we'll talk about some of the technical concepts like service-oriented architecture. We'll also talk about some more other architectures like 2-tier, 3-tier cloud computing. What are the different types of cloud computing models? BPMN, which we already spoke a few minutes back, business process model and notation, and then create a BPMN models as well when we do the BPM topic. But that's, as I said, that's a advanced level of modeling which not many business analysts are aware of, and that gives you a more competitive edge when you are applying for a job. If you say that you know not only the conventional BPM, business process modeling, but you can also do using BPMN. And then I will quickly go to the tools we use to conduct this training, which I already spoke to a great extent. We will use MS Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, to create documentation, as we already talked about, like BRD, FRD, then traceability matrix, then what was that? The other one, the business rules document, data dictionary. All of this will be created using MS Office, mainly Word and Excel. Visio, Lucidchart, Glyphy, Draw.io, Signavio, all these will be used to create different types of models, mainly business process models, system context diagrams, and UML diagrams. For the BPMN as well, we will use these tools like Bezaji, Camunda, Bonita, Signavio, Draw.io, and also MS Visio. If you have access to MS Visio, you can continue using that. We will use Gantt to create a project plan or a schedule, Balsamic Mockflow to create the wireframes, low fidelity wireframes mockups, Jira and Confluence for the entire Agile Scrum series, and also for Kanban. For Kanban, I have another tool called Trello, which I like to use alongside Jira, because many of the projects they use Trello tool to do their processes if they are following Kanban. And then Tortoise SVN for configuration management, check-in, check-out, the version controlling, we'll use that. Yeah, that's pretty much what we will be using as part of the tool stack. Any questions?
Chetan, can you hear me?
Hello?
Shitan, I thought to ask, for the BRD, FRD, what tools do we use for those?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, but we couldn't hear you for last couple of minutes.
Oh, when did you lose me? I mean, I was talking all this time. So were you able to hear me when I finished the course outline?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I think by mistake I hit mute and I muted myself. Sorry.
Mm.
Seema, you were saying something, right?
Yeah, Chetan, I had a question like when you said the business analyst also is a important part in the user acceptance testing. So basically we do the testing, but do we need to know certain certain type of testings like like the automation testing or Selenium which is going on as the testers use? Do we have to know that as well? And do you cover that too in the course?
Okay. No, you don't really need to know automation testing. Definitely, that's not within the purview of a business analyst.
Okay.
From a UAT point of view, you should be more of a facilitator of this ceremony, of this meeting.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, making sure that you prepare the scripts, you are able to answer the questions of your UAT participants, you get the feedback from them, right? You analyze all the feedback and talk to the product owner or the customer. So you will be more like a point of contact for the UAT than actually doing the UAT.
Okay, got it. Mhm.
I have a question, Chetan. This is Ankita.
Yeah, Ankita.
So the tool stack that you mentioned, like almost like 10 of them. So do we need to be handy with all these tools before starting the training? Should we download them or how do we go about it?
No, you don't need to download them right now. We will, as we come closer to the topic, we will tell you to download or to kind of create a login with it with that tool, create an account.
Okay.
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 And most of the tools are open source tools. That means they are free to use. Anybody can go and use them. But I would say
Okay.
you can just hold on until we come to that point.
Okay.
Okay.
Shitan, I wanted to ask, for the BRD, FRD,
Oh
what
yeah,
tools do you use?
yeah. Sorry. Yes. So for the BRD FRD, we will be using simple MS Word, right? So these are the basic tools that we use for documentation. Unless you are in Agile environment, then we will focus on Jira tool to even maintain all your documents within that tool.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Uh, hey, Asha, are you able to hear us? Okay. I'm not sure if you are, but I'm hoping you are able to hear us. Okay, thank you. So one last thing I wanted to talk about is that the training portal. Okay, before I go to the training portal, I want to just emphasize that this training is not only for a business analyst training, but we have also included all the topics that will help you to get certified as a Scrum Master and Product Owner. So, and I do that. I generally recommend all my trainees to get certified at the end of this training, certified as a Scrum Master and Product Owner, right? So that's something which will definitely add more weightage on your resume and make you more marketable and more competitive. Okay, so that's something which I really recommend, highly recommend. Now, coming back to this training portal, this will be used as a one-stop shop for all the training needs. So right from your recorded sessions, which are all posted here, we will be posting all the sessions that we do on this portal. So you will have access to this portal. You can come back and play, pause, whatever you want to do. But the key thing is, yes, I would like you guys to attend the sessions, live sessions. But in case for some reason, if you miss or you want to go back and repeat it, you have that option. And in the next when we start, I will give you more overview on this training portal. But today, I will just give you a quick, uh, highlights of this training portal, how we use it. So one is we have the course calendar here, which will have all the links to the training. We have the course milestone dates, which of course are from the previous batch. I'll be creating a new site for you guys, but all the key dates will be listed here. And then we have the course calendar, which is again where you will have all the links to the training sessions that will be posted here. The course outline is also here. If you want to go and download it, you can download it from this page. Exactly what we saw right now is here. You can have it. So this is where, as I said, all the recorded sessions will be posted, and you will have access to this training portal 1 year from the day we finish this training. So all the sessions, as you can see, we have got almost like 30 sessions which are posted here. Okay. The resources page is where I'll be posting a lot of reading material. As we complete a topic, we will be posting more more documents, reading material that can be from like PowerPoint slides, journal articles, reading articles, PDFs, all of those will be here. Assignments, I'll be giving you assignments on the topics we cover, and you are expected to complete, come back here and upload it. I'll talk in more detail what's the process of uploading it, but this is just a quick snapshot of the training portal. We'll also be giving you a quiz on a lot of topics which you will be expected to finish by a certain date and time. So that will be posted here. A case study will be used as we start talking about these topics. Alongside the assignments, we will also do this case study. So a lot of times I like to do the assignments in class. In addition to that, I also give you take-home assignments and the case study. So that will kind of reinforce all the topics that we cover in the training. And then we have the template section where we will see all the different templates. Your template is nothing but it's a structured document which you can use to create or complete your assignment. So you can use one of these templates. For example, let's say we are doing impact analysis document, and you are supposed to finish one assignment on that. You can pick any of these templates. Resume, right now there's nothing here, but once we come to the point, we'll be building your resume, and I'll talk more about that on that topic. But yes, resume is also part of the training, building your resume, your individual resume, which we will try to use your past experience so that you can leverage that instead of creating a fake resume. I like to use something from your past which can help you. At the same time, you will be more confident in talking about that work, right? So resume will be we'll be working with you guys to build a good resume that will be a personal resume to you. A lot of people, they just do a blind copy and paste and give resume, which doesn't work. You need to have a good resume which you are comfortable with. And then we will have a Q&A page where you can have a question asked or posted, and then I will be going here and responding to that question. So this will be more like a forum where the entire audience will be seeing whatever is shared here. So this is mainly used for discussing the topics, not for any other type of conversation. Okay, so for example, if you have any personal request to make, you can just email me or call me, text me. But if you have any question related to the topic we covered, definitely this is the place where you want to post your question. This is mainly used by me, where I'll be posting any announcements. Typically, the announcements are like, okay, that's a training session we have, the updates to the training portal we made, any new assignment posted. It's more like a broadcasting a message to the audience. So this will be used for that purpose. Any questions? Seema, Emmanuel, Asha, Ankita, Adi?
Okay.
No question.
Now, one last thing before I wrap up is this training is also what I want to say is not only training, but we will also be working with you closely to build your resume, then work with you on interview preparation. I will give you one interview prep guide, which is based off so many interviews we have taken, my candidates, my trainees have come across or they have experienced. So we have all these questions and answers coming from live interviews. And that will be shared with you, which you will be expected to start reading and prepare yourself for the interviews. And once you are done, we will do some mock interviews and then start the marketing. Okay. Now, I work with a lot of IT companies which will be marketing you to get your desired job in the desired location and all other factors. Now, it's too early, of course. We haven't even decided, rather, you haven't even decided yet that whether you want to continue with this training. But when you decide, once we come to the point, I will have to get some more information in terms of your location preference, your domain preference, all of these things, so that we are prepared when we start marketing you. Okay, and the first 2 weeks are free. So if you want to continue and check out, hey, is it the right training for me? Are we able to meet your expectations? Yeah, then you can use these 2 weeks to just, it's like a test drive. So you can do that and then you can commit to the training. So you don't need to pay for it until the second week, end of the second week. Make sense?
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. It's an open forum. So I'm done. So feel free to ask any questions.
Okay, with the course outline taken.
Sorry, what was that?
I said with the course outline completed and taken. I take it we're ready. We're ready to.
Emmanuel, you're breaking a little bit. Can you repeat, please?
Okay, I said with the whole course outline done
Oh,
and
course
taken.
outline. Yes.
Yeah, with when it's done, when we're through with this training.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it we're well equipped. We're ready to work or to take on any job, any BA role in any company. Well, do we need to go through any other kind of training to be able to?
Well,
do an MBA job.
So let me reiterate your question, because your voice is a bit choppy. I'm not able to hear you exactly, but if I understood you clearly or correctly, after the end of this training, do we need to take some more training? Is that what your question is?
Yes,
Or
before you can take on any BA role, yeah, sometimes get maybe a job.
okay, let me answer this way. So this training is agnostic to any domain, whether you go for healthcare, you go for um, pharmaceutical, or you go for banking, or any other domain. It's agnostic. That means all the skills, all the knowledge, all the techniques that you are going to learn can easily be applied in any of these domains. Now, having said that, every project is unique, right? It's like, every single person is unique, right? No two people on this earth are exactly same, right? So same way, the projects, the jobs that's going to be offered to you will be unique in their own way. Now, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we identify those unique elements on the job and make sure that we understand what those things are. Like, I'll give a live example. I just now spoke, right? I told you that one of the trainee, he got selected in UK as a Scrum Master, and we trained him for BA Scrum Master. He got for Scrum Master. He said, "I want to go for it." I said, "Okay, you can go ahead and uh, accept it." Now, on their project, they have something unique to Scrum. Typically, Scrum has its own ceremonies, and the way we do is pretty standard. But they have a unique way of doing things. So we may have to learn that thing and make sure that he gels in that environment, right? We don't want to reinvent the wheel when something is already working there. So that's what I've told him, to start learning about their processes, and then we will have a Q&A session uh, once he has a good understanding, so that he can easily adjust in that environment. So he's not going to get new training for that, but he just has to uh, acclimatize himself for that environment.
Okay.
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 I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Okay, and that question, what's the duration of this training? How many months?
Okay, good question. Good question. Yeah, I was about to come to that, but you asked, so let me answer that. So this will be for 8 to 10 weeks. So generally, I've seen, like, depending on the pace at which we go, it takes at least 8 weeks. But sometimes we may have to add some more time, because we have to slow down the pace. We may have to spend some more time in class discussion, and it may add some more time to it. But I expect this training to be done within 8 to 10 weeks. That means 2.5 months. Let's take that as a rough timeline.
Okay.
Okay.
Another question, how many times in a year do you run this training program?
How many times?
In a year.
Oh, in a year. So
Yeah.
we generally have, depends, I have, we have like a bunch of trainers. So I take this particular, I'll be taking this course, the Agile Business Analysis. I mean, to answer your question, roughly about 3 to 4, maybe 4 max, because I'm not one of those who will try to do like 6 or 7 in 1 year, because then you compromise on the quality, right? And I don't like to do that, because one thing is, I like to train because it's my passion, right? Second thing, you guys are investing your time and money and trying to make your career. So I don't want to cut corners for that. Okay. So I take my own time to do it. And as I said, I'm not in a rush to complete the course. If you guys feel that, hey, we need to go back and revisit a topic, I will do that. So to answer your question, yes, on an average, we start every 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months. But that's something which I've seen that works for me as well as for the trainees. And the core schedule, the weekly schedule will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what we are trying to adopt, so that it works for everyone. It's not too early, not too late. It has been of a good way to conduct these trainings. That's what I've seen for so many years.
So Chetan, if for some reason, if any day if we are not able to attend, we can just go to the recorded session.
That's correct. You can go to the recorded session, and what I do is we have a process like anybody who has missed a training, you can definitely call me and set up a time to go over any questions you have. But definitely you need to review that session, the recorded session, and once you do that, if you have any questions, we can have one-on-one session, and I will answer all your queries.
Okay. So I have one more question, Chetan. So of course, going through the content, they're like, I'm not from IT background, of course. There are so many jargons, so sometimes it looks difficult that even in 8 to 10 weeks, if I'll be able to understand all those things. And initially mentioned that you are also not from IT background, so I don't know how to state this, but just basically, I don't know how if I will be able to do that in 8 to 10 weeks. Because a lot of terms, it's so much new to me. So what's your say on that?
Definitely. I mean, I understand from where you're coming, your concern, everything is valid, but believe me, 10 weeks, within 10 weeks, you will not only understand these jargons, right? I don't want to just give you a shortcut to understand these jargons, but I want to simplify things so that you don't get intimidated by hearing these jargons, right? So when we break down these concepts into or in a way where it's very easy for anyone to understand, then you will look back and laugh that, oh, you were scared for no reason, right? So definitely this is something which I've been experiencing a lot with my trainees, and most of them, they don't have IT experience, but I go with that assumption that you have no knowledge of IT, and I start from there. I will not use any of those terms which will make no sense to you guys. Okay. At the same time, we will connect the dots, and then we will say, okay, this is exactly what we meant by this, and then things will be very clear, crystal clear, and you will be able to not only learn, also perform on the job.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have one more question.
Yes.
Your job placement service. That's
Sorry,
very.
what's that?
The job placement service.
Oh, okay, job placement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important for me.
Right. And
now,
where are you located?
I'm in Africa. I'm in Africa. I'm in Nigeria. So
okay.
It's possible to get a job after I'm done with this training.
And you are based, or you are coming to US or Canada, or you are based in Nigeria, and you will be.
I'm based in Nigeria, but I'm willing to relocate if I get a job.
Okay. I mean, I thought you are not planning to migrate to US or Canada. Is that right?
I'm planning to if I get a job. But if I get a job.
Okay. But do you have a work permit to come
No,
here?
I don't. No, I don't.
Okay, you don't. So do one thing, send me some job portals, because frankly speaking, I mean, I do work with a lot of people from Nigeria, but either they are in US or they are in Canada, right? Or they are in UK. So I would do this. I would need some information from you, and that's exactly what I did with a couple of trainees we worked with from this place. What was that? it was Africa, but not Nigeria. It was South Africa, I think. Yeah, there were a couple from South Africa and one from Ghana. So because we don't have much connections in the like from the job perspective in those areas, what we can do is we will have to work with you to identify some of the job portals which will help us to understand what type of skill sets they look for, right, in that particular job market. Nigeria is more of oil and gas, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So what's of financial services also?
Financial services, right? So we can target those domains and make sure that your resume and your skill sets are aligned to those kind of jobs. Okay. So what you will have to do is you will have to send me some popular job portals which are popular in Nigeria. Okay. And we will have to work from there. We will see, okay, what type of jobs are available, in which domain, what type of skill sets they need, what type of tools they need, and then kind of tweak it accordingly. Okay.
Well, I'm looking at jobs in the US. Is that possible?
For that, you will have to go through a work permit, right? I mean, these days, as such, things are a bit difficult in US with all this going on. Immigration issues have been tightened, and plus travel has become more difficult, right, these days because of what's going on. But again, this is a temporary thing. But the bigger picture is, I would tell you to look more into migrating to Canada if you really want to kind of come and live in this part of the world than US. Getting into US, you on H1B might be a lengthy process and may take more time, and it's just not worth the effort right now.
Okay, thank you for that advice.
Yeah. But I would say, we can talk more offline with regards to your job and immigration things. But yes, we can work with you and make sure that you are ready for the job market in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Any questions? Adi, Ankita, Asha, Emmanuel, you already spoke, but if you have any, please feel free to ask. Seema? Okay. Great. So this was just a high-level demo, and definitely I will keep you posted with regards to the exact start date. We are planning to start next week, but I haven't decided the start date. So I will email you with more information with regards to the start date and keep you posted. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, concerns, you have my phone number, you have my email ID. Don't hesitate to call me or email me. Okay.
Thank you, Shita.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
thanks for joining, attending, spending this much time, and hopefully I will see you again next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.